Okay, what is financial literacy for me? I think in its simplest term, it just means how you're able to manage the funds that you have or assets that you that have financial value. When not to spend, when to save it, or even where to invest it. So that's for me the simplest understanding of what financial literacy.
In my opinion, financial literacy is having the knowledge about what you do with your money.
Okay, my first encounter, maybe in school, for topics like accounting, when it's teaching you what debit or credit is, assets, liabilities. I think that's my first encounter. But if I look at it now, maybe even during the time when I have baon, and I'll see which food to buy, which food will only fit within my baon, or when I need to save on something. So maybe as early as grade school, I have already encountered this, but I didn't know at the time. So I think that's when I got to know what financial literacy is. My first idea of it, maybe I was in high school when I'll travel and I'd get to buy something, and then I'd hear friends say, "Oh, where'd you get that? Can you buy for me?" Then maybe that's the time I started to see, oh, I can buy and I can add or top up the price so that I get a little extra to buy something else. So maybe those are the times I think I started to give more value or importance to it.
In terms of daily budgeting, I find out what is my daily expenses, and then based on my source of income, I would budget it, and in the end, I make sure I have savings.
How did I manage money using it? Well, right now, at my age, I think before, with your first salary, you'd buy the necessities, or maybe you tend to splurge. But when I got married and I had kids, I learned to spend my money more wisely, to use it first all on necessities. And then as years go by, when you have extra, right now, I invest, let's say, in some long-term investments like mutual funds, etc. Or when you buy things that will appreciate in value. Like let's say when you start buying lots, or when you invest in jewelry or in watches. So I think that's how you're able to learn to manage it more, where to not putting all your eggs in one basket, so that if something doesn't work out, you still have funds to get somewhere else. So I think that's how it's teaching me, or making me understand what financial literacy is. Okay, what is the importance of it to me? And well, first, and how I apply it in daily life. Importance is, right now with my family, it's helping me ensure that there's something that I can use when something goes wrong, let's say sickness, or sort of like saving for a rainy day. Second, it at least reminds me to always make sure that I'm using it well, so that in the future I have something to pass on to my children, and hopefully they'll manage it good as well.
For me, it's important because every day you deal with spending, you earn money, so you should know how to be prudent when spending and be wise on what you do with what you earn. Because if you don't spend it wisely, you might end up with nothing.
How do I apply it in my daily activities? Well, currently in work, or when I meet new people and I hear of a good investment, if I have extra and I think I assess the risk, if it's high or low risk, or if it's a long-term investment, I'm able to use it well. So it's basically just telling me which are the ones that I should invest on, which are the ones that I should spend on, which are the ones that are nice to have. So it's just helping me manage my expenses. Okay, my advice to students: being financially literate doesn't only mean having a lot of money. So maybe at this early age, it's best for you students to understand which are the ones that you should spend on and not where to spend. So as I constantly remind my children, assess what you're gonna spend on, if it's something that is a necessity or a nice to have. Because when you're able to not spend so much on nice to have, you're able to save, and in the future that savings you can invest it into something more that will be of value. So if you students understand right now the importance of your assets, the importance of funds, the importance of seeing how else you can grow whatever it is that you have, that's already in itself a good tool to help you in the future. Especially when you start working, you start having your first salary, you start having your bonuses, you start buying items for yourself, whether it be as simple as a jewelry, to cars, to even your own condominiums or house and lot. So it's a guide. So always remember, for me, it's if it's a nice to have or it's a necessity. So I guess that's the simplest advice I can give